Okay, guys, again with the music. I hope it's not too distracting. So, this is what you're going to see when you open your exam to the reading section. The first thing that you're going to have to do is answer questions about story elements after reading a small story. So, what you'll see is first the instructions and then the story that you'll have to read, which will be a story in similar lengths to this, which means almost a page to a page long, but the type will be big and the spacing will be nice so that you can read it easily. Below that, you'll have questions that you need to answer. Okay, so what I want to review in this video is reading strategies that you should use to read this and to answer these questions efficiently and effectively. But before we get there, I want to make a point. This is not the story that you will be reading on the exam. Okay? So do not study this story for the exam. Okay, so now let's move on. Going to the reading strategies. I sent this out and put this on the blog, but just to remind you, the reading strategies that I have for you, or have recommended, are to read the questions before you read, and then read the reading once, and then to read it again. So going back here, before you start reading this story, which may look a little scary because it is a page long, you should go down to the questions, and you should read them through to make sure that you know what you're looking for. So here we have a question about plot. We need to know the sequence of events or what happens in the story. We need to know where the problem is. We need to know the setting. We also need to know the climax and the resolution. So now it's time for us to read. We're going to read this once through. And as you read this once through, don't stop when you don't understand something. There won't be too many words that will be hard for you to read, but there may be some things that are hard to understand. But don't stop. Read it all the way through. Once you've done that, now it's time to read the story through, and to pause when you don't understand things, and also to look for the answers to the questions that you need to answer. Okay, so once you've read it twice, you can read it a third time if you have time. It's time to go down to the questions. Like I've said here, make sure to answer each question in complete sentences. Otherwise, it'll be hard for me to understand exactly what you're talking about. Not every question is going to ask you to write sentences or to write anything at all. For example, here, you're going to be asked to underline the problem in the story. So, you're going to go up to the story, and you're going to find the sentence where you think the problem is, or where the author of the story writes down what's wrong in the story. So here, I've underlined this sentence here, which isn't necessarily the problem, but it's an example of what you'll do with your pencil on the exam. Okay, so going down here, you're going to go through the rest of the questions, answering in complete sentences when you're asked to. And I have two recommendations for you, because I don't want to go too in-depth about this, because that's part of what you're supposed to do in studying. But I want you to remember, relax. This is not going to be the most difficult exam in your life. It would be something you know, especially if you review the story elements that we just talked about in the other videos and on your own. And also that you review the reading strategies. Remember to look at the reading strategies and make sure you're confident in what you should do. So just to review, don't read the text first. Read the questions. After you're done reading the questions and know what you have to look for in the story, read it once without being worried about things you don't understand, and then read it again, this time looking for words you don't understand and also answers to the questions if you can find them. Read it a third time if you have time, and then it's time to go down to the questions and start answering them. Okay, if you guys have any other questions about this or about anything else that we've covered in these 3 videos, make sure to email me. I'm available most of the time and will get back to you as soon as I can. Until I see you tomorrow, have a good time studying, and I wish you the best of luck. Alright, bye-bye.